CLOs are maturing rapidly and they are not being replaced proportionally. And expectations for CLOs in 2012 are extremely tempered right now. So in 2011, we saw about 13 billion in CLO issuance. This is up from 4 billion in 2010. Now, that sat squarely in the middle of market expectations. People expected about 10 to 15 billion in CLO issuance. Next year, they expect a slight uptick, about 15 to 20 billion. But if we think about it, net new CLO demand will remain negative next year because a huge amount of CLOs are seeing the end of their reinvestment periods and they are not able to reinvest after that period. Now, they're also running against their weighted average life tests. So what we might see is a lot of issuers pursuing amend and extend activity, so that way they can sort of work within the constraints of CLOs. So if CLOs are running against their weighted average life test, we might see issuers coming out with shorter maturities in order to get these CLOs to invest in their loans. But for now, net new CLO demand will probably continue to be negative. And again, new CLO issuance is expected to be in the 10 to 15 billion range. One of the big issues is that CLOs are not being replaced proportionally, and that brings up a huge question for next year, which is who's going to step in to buy leveraged loans. The good news is we no longer have a monolith kind of market or investor base, so rather than just CLOs buying these loans, we know that's not the reality into next year. It hasn't been the reality for the last couple of years. Next year, what we're expecting is credit opportunity funds, distressed players, and hedge funds who are enticed by the higher yields that we're seeing on loans, and they played a huge part in the leverage buyer base in third quarter and fourth quarter of this year, so we expect to see them play a much greater role. But we also expect to see pension funds, endowments, insurance companies. These kinds of players are attracted by loans, viewing loans as a very attractive income-based investment, so we expect to see them come in as well. So again, the good news is there's a wider array of all these different investors that are coming in and will supplement really the vacuum left behind by CLOs.